Hi lovelies, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I have a lovely little hibernation yoga practice for you, which is a very restorative practice, perfect for this time of year as we get closer and closer to Christmas, where all we want to do is kind of be cozy in our lovely warm home. So a couple of things you might want for your practice today, maybe your favorite dressing gown, which I'm kind of living in mine at the moment, a couple of cushions, maybe a blanket, anything that really screams coziness to you, really bring it into your practice today. You might even have a warm cup of tea or hot chocolate. Really treat yourselves. And I think this is especially important this year, 2020. It's been such a turbulent year, and it's been a real tiring year as well, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all the things. So this pull to hibernate feels stronger than ever. And if you follow me on social media, you'll know that I've been talking about this a little bit and how this pull to hibernate does feel really strong. So I just wanted to say, if you're feeling that kind of instinct to kind of retreat into your homes, feel free to listen to that. At the end of the day, your intuition is going to know what's best for you. So if you want to spend some more time at home doing the things you love, doing the things for you, absolutely by all means do those things, and it'll be so worth it at the end. Okay, so let's get started. And also, because I'm not going to be talking so much about this practice because it is going to be really mellow and really chill, I do have a little Spotify playlist in the description box full of like mellow Yuletide yoga Christmas songs, just to kind of help us relax and help us settle. So yeah, that is there for you as well. Okay, let's get started now. So coming to a comfortable seat, you can sit on top of a cushion like I am, or you might sit on a couple of blocks, whatever works for you. And just find a relatively tall spine. Don't feel as though you have to kind of be really tall and stuck here. Just kind of invite in that little bit of softness. You might have the palms of the hands facing down on the knees to start for a little bit more grounding. And when you are ready, you can start to invite the eyes to close. Begin to close off the outside world and focus in more on our internal world. So our little restorative practice today is a chance to soften and open up the body in a real passive way. So it's all about taking our time, slowing down, and it can be the real perfect antidote to any stress you may be experiencing. I know that Christmas is not always the real joyful, happy time for everyone. It can involve a lot of pressure. So just take a few moments to allow yourselves to just kind of settle into this nice and easy space. And dedicating this practice to you, to your body, to your mind. Allowing everything else to kind of slowly fade away. And to kind of help us arrive in our bodies and to cultivate that mindful awareness of ourselves, maybe placing one hand on your lower belly and one hand at the top of your chest. And just seeing if we can kind of connect to that movement of our breath. That steady rise and fall of the chest and the belly. As the breath travels through the body in that regular, familiar pattern. Just notice how the breath is feeling for you today. Maybe we're breathing quite deeply, quite slowly. Or maybe your breath is feeling a little bit more jagged, a little bit more fast. But see if you can settle into a comfortable cycle of your breath. So you might begin to count your breaths if that helps. You might be counting your inhales for 4 and then counting your exhales for 4. And over time, maybe we can increase those numbers to 5, maybe even 6, but again, no rush. Slowing down in your own time. And bringing this loving, mindful awareness to our breath also helps to calm down the mind here. So if the mind is kind of chattering away, it's feeling quite busy with all of those different thoughts and different feelings. See if you can keep the awareness on your breath. And don't worry if the mind wanders again. It probably will. It's a very natural thing to happen. But always come back to your breath. Maybe you can even treat your breath today as your spirit. And by treating our breath in this kind of loving, gentle way, maybe we can breathe even softer, even slower. Having a few more cycles of breath in your own time, counting to 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe even more. And then as you finish your final exhalation here, just gently bring your arms down by the sides of your body. Your fingertips might gently rest on your mat or wherever you may be. Getting that hand to earth connection here. Again, taking a moment to ground. And then following the movement of your breath. As you inhale, let's start to gently lift the arms up towards the sky. Reach the arms up above the head. Think maybe we can grow a little bit taller here. And as we exhale, just simply soften the arms back down. And again, fingertips just gently rest down towards the mat. We're going to repeat that twice more. Inhale, float the fingertips up towards the sky. A little gentle stretch, gentle reach. Exhale, soften down. One more time. Inhaling, reaching the fingertips up. Exhale, fingertips down. Take another inhale and just see if you can lift the heart a little bit higher. As we exhale, we're going to start to twist towards the right hand side. So finding the twist, using your center first of all, using your center to kind of guide you there. And then maybe it's up to you, you can get the hand a little bit more involved. So you might place your left hand over onto your right knee, right hand into the ground behind you. See if that can kind of guide you into the twist a little bit deeper. Take a breath here. Take a breath out. Inhale, gently unraveling through the spine, coming back through center, fingertips to the earth, either side of your body. Take a breath in. As we exhale, again using your center, twisting round towards the left this time. And again, it can be a real gentle twist, or you might bring the hands involved, right hand to the left knee, left hand to the ground behind you to twist that a little bit deeper. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhaling, gently unraveling back to the center, fingertips down to the earth, either side. Breath in. And as we exhale, slowly drawing kind of a little semicircle with your fingertips. You start to pull the heart forward, hands come out in front of you, and starting to incorporate a little bit of a seated forward fold. And There's no kind of pressure here to really come as far into this forward fold as you can. Just allow the body to soften into it. Keep the sit bones nestled down into the ground or into whatever prop or cushion you may be resting on. And just seeing with every exhale, we can kind of soften that a little bit more. Maybe the fingertips slide that a little bit further away from us. Maybe the elbows come down towards the ground, or maybe they don't. You can keep the eyes closed here. You can keep the eyes closed for the entirety of our practice today. So we don't need to be kind of looking up at our screens, making sure we're doing the right thing, that there's no right or wrong in this practice. Keeping the eyes closed so we can really tune into ourselves and tune out anything else. Take a breath here. Take a breath out. As you inhale, we're slowly going to walk the fingertips round towards the right hand side, staying in this little seated forward fold, but involving a little bit of another twist in there. So you might start to feel the stretch through the left side of your lower spine here as you start to pull the heart forwards. And again, we pause for a moment. And if the stretch at any point gets a little bit too intense for you, maybe you walk the fingertips a little bit closer towards you and you lift up a little bit higher. But the key thing today is to let the breath guide you through. Let the breath kind of show you the way. So if our breath does start to again become a little bit fast or a little bit jagged, feel free to modify, ease yourself out of the stretch, and just listen to your bodies and what it has to say. Maybe we take one more breath here. One more exhale. Inhale. Let's start to take the fingertips through the center and gently making your way over towards the left. So getting that little stretch through the right side of your lower spine this time. Allowing the head to kind of be heavy here. So releasing in the back of the neck as well. No tension, no pressure. Letting go little by little, bit by bit. You might start to notice that the body gradually comes further and further. Heart melts further down towards the mat. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, let's take the fingertips back through center. Final few breaths in this forward fold, and you may notice now that you can think a little bit deeper. If the elbows weren't on the ground before, maybe they are now, but again, even if they're not, no worries. Take final drink of breath in here, slow and steady. And then on your next inhale, taking your time, pushing down through the fingertips, walking the hands towards you, to rise all the way back up to seated. But in all of these transitions today, there's no need to rush. Take it nice and easy. And as you come to sit up nice and tall, you might bring in a little bit of movement into the head and neck, turning the head from side to side. Beautiful. Okay. And then we're slowly going to make our way onto our backs on our mat. So if you're sitting on top of a cushion or on top of a blanket, gently take it out from underneath you, but place it to one side. We may need it again in a moment. Swing the legs out in front. Again, you can keep the eyes closed for the entirety of this. And slowly, slowly, coming all the way down to lie flat on your backs on your mats. You can have a little wriggle here. You settle here as the spine kind of decompresses along your mat. You can bring in any extra cushions here for underneath the back of the head or the shoulders. Take a breath in here. And take a breath out. Let's slowly bring the knees in towards the chest. You don't have to hug the knees in too tightly here. Just giving the spine a little massage on your mat, a little sway from side to side. Gently rocking from one way to the other. And then let's keep hold of just the right knee first of all, right knee into the chest. And take a moment to extend the left leg up towards sky, kicking that left heel up. And as you exhale, slowly lengthen that left leg all the way down on. Beautiful. Take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to start to make our way into a spinal twist. So with this right knee, send it across the body, over towards the left-hand side, and finding your cushion again here, maybe. Bringing your cushion towards the left-hand side and see if you can gently rest the right knee onto that cushion there. You might want to roll your cushion up a couple of times, maybe to give you that little bit more height. Easing your way into this twist. And we don't necessarily need to worry about sending our gaze in any particular direction. You can keep the eyes closed, nose pointing up to the sky. You might like to take the arms out wide, but again, entirely your choice. You might place left hand on top of the right knee. I'm going to stay here for a little bit of time now. So just listening to your own breath, listening to our playlist maybe, if you've got that going on in the background. Taking a moment to chill. And before we transition over to the other side, take 3 more breaths in your own time. Gradually coming into your final full round of breath. And then gently making your way out of the posture exactly the same way we came in. So lifting the right knee, pulling it back in towards the chest. drawing the left knee in also. So again, we come back to lying flat on our backs on our mat, have a little sway from side to side, with both knees in towards the chest, giving the spine a little massage. And then let's just get our cushion ready for the other side. So just gently bringing it across to the right hand side this time. And then keeping left knee in towards the chest, let's extend right heel up towards the sky. Take a breath in. As you exhale, releasing right leg all the way down towards the mat, lengthening it away from you. Gently moving into our spinal twist, so guiding left knee across the body, over towards the right. See if we can place this left knee on top of our cushions. And don't worry if it takes kind of a moment or two to settle into the space. So you might be kind of wriggling around to find that kind of sweet spot. Take your time here. And then the same again as we did on the other side. Sending the gaze wherever you wish, or keeping the eyes closed. Perhaps you're stretching the arms out to the side, or maybe you're just resting this right palm on the left knee and allowing the kind of warmth from your hand to melt into the surface of your skin, of that left thigh, giving it a little bit of love, giving it a little bit of kindness, and seeing if that kindness can kind of spread and circulate throughout the rest of the body here. And again, taking those final 3 breaths in here. Final breath. Beautiful. And then gently making your way out of the posture the same way you came in. So left knee comes back in towards the chest. Slowly followed by the right as the spine comes back towards the mat. Maybe taking one final moment to kind of curl yourselves up into a little ball, again swaying from side to side. Let's gently bring the feet down towards the mat, and it's entirely up to you for this next part. You can leave your cushion where it is, or you might like to gently push down through the feet. Lift the hips and see if you can slide your cushion underneath your hips here. So the hips are a little bit higher and there's a little bit of cushioning there, a little bit of extra support. And then from here, keeping the knees pointing up towards the sky, but separate the feet about mat distance apart. Then allow the knees to knock together to rest against one another. Taking a little bit of time in a constructive rest, and decide where you want to place your arms. You might have the hands resting on your belly. You might have the arms down by your side, fingertips naturally curling in. Or you might take a little cactus shape, getting a little opening across the heart. Entirely your choice. Again, have a few moments to find that sweet spot for you. And begin to settle. Again, we have our final 3 breaths, using that as a kind of indication that it's nearly time for the body to move. So we can allow that thought to gently enter our minds before we even move the body here. So when we do move the body, it's no surprise. We can softly take the body from one place to the next. Final breath in, final breath out. And then from here, maybe we roll all the way over onto one side. Doesn't matter which, can be the left or the right. And all you're going to do is use your hands to help you to gently rise up, slow and steady. There's no need to kind of come up too quickly here. And you're going to be sitting on top of that cushion. So gently kind of walk the sit bones out in front. So the cushion is now behind your body here. Okay. And then keeping knees bent, pointing up to the sky. And let's send the knees over towards the left hand side. And you can keep the knees apart, or you might decide to bring the knees to stack on top of one another as we come further into the posture. Walk your hands around towards the left. So you're going to turn to face your cushion. You might want to kind of roll the cushion up here so it's a bit more of a bolster shape, entirely up to you. But your hands are going to frame either side of this cushion here. And then gently turning the gaze to look towards the right. We bring left ear down towards our prop. And again, this is the moment where you can decide whether to keep the knees apart, or you might bring the knees to gently stack on top of one another. Entirely your choice. Letting the head kind of melt into your cushion here. Everything is soft. Final 3 breaths here. One more breath. And then gently pushing down through the palms that are either side of the cushion, making our way out of the posture the way we came in. So lifting the chest away from the cushion and come back to sitting on your sit bones, knees pointing up to the sky. And then we're going to sway the knees over to the right hand side this time. And again, walking the hands around towards the right, turning to face your cushion. Bring the hands either side, and again, you can roll your cushion up to create a little bit more of a bolster shape. Hands come down, turning the gaze to look towards the left, so the right ear comes down towards your cushion. And then from here, deciding whether you want to keep the knees separate or to stack them on top of one another. and resting here. You might have one side that feels a little bit more comfortable than the other, maybe. Whatever it is you're kind of noticing here in these quiet, these still moments. Know that there's never any judgment. We're not trying to change anything. I'm just taking the time to honour ourselves and let everything be as it is, right here, right now. Final 3 breaths. One more. And slowly, slowly pushing down through the palms, and again gently lifting the chest away from the cushion. The body might start to feel a little bit heavier now as we're really sinking into this practice. But from here, you're going to lift the hips up towards the sky. So now that the shins and the knees come down towards the mat. And again, you're facing your cushion here. And we're going to take a little supported child's pose. So let's separate the knees slightly out towards the side. Big toes come together to touch. And then gently again, bringing the chest down towards your cushion and turning the head to one side. So it's entirely up to you which way you turn your gaze. I'm going to turn to look towards the left, but you might want to turn to look towards the right. Your choice. Keep melting your hips back towards your heels here in this kind of cuddly child's pose. And if it's a little bit too intense for your hips, maybe you might want to bring the knees a little bit closer together, maybe. And just know if any of these postures are a little bit uncomfortable for you, don't feel as though you have to stay and be stuck in that place. Know that you can move, know that you can adjust. And if you wish here, you might gently lift the head and gently turn to look in the opposite direction now. So bringing the other ear down towards your cushion, just so we're not kind of Bringing in any unnecessary tension into the neck here. Just gently changing over onto the other side. And then again, let's have our final 3 breaths. One more breath here. And then gently, we're going to rise up, maybe rolling up through the spine here. And just coming to sit on your shins for a moment. So finding a lovely tall spine, but again, as you kind of rise up here, might feel a little bit dizzy. So again, take a breath. Okay. And then from here, just bring your cushion over to one side. You're going to walk a little bit further along your mat, swing the ankles around to one side, sit bones down towards the mat. So again, we can lengthen the legs out in front. Okay. And then again, you're going to bring your cushion, whatever it is you're using, your blanket, underneath your hips. And then we're going to gently guide ourselves all the way down onto our backs. You can have a little adjustment of the cushion should you need to. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. You can kind of curl them in for a moment, hug them into the chest, nice and tight, or keep it nice and soft. Then let's start to send the legs up towards the sky. And if you feel like you need a little bit more support here, you might kind of rest the legs against the wall, or you might just be happy where you are. And just resting here. This is particularly great if you spend a lot of time on your feet, you do a lot of walking around, a lot of running around, or maybe you're just an active person in general. So we're just giving our legs, our feet, our toes a little bit of a break, a little bit of TLC. You might have like a gentle wiggle in the fingertips, a wiggle in the toes, a little rotation in the ankles. There's that little bit of softness in the knees, so don't feel as though you have to stretch out through the back of the knees. Keep that softness. And if you start to get that kind of tingly sensation, that kind of pins and needles sensation in your toes or in your feet, feel free to come out here a little bit sooner. You can gently bring the feet down towards the mat. If you're happy, just staying here for a little while longer. And gradually taking our 3 final breaths. And as you've taken that third and final breath, you can slowly start to bend the knees. Perhaps bring the soles of the feet back down towards the mat. And we're going to make our way into the final pose of this practice. So pushing down through the feet. So again, lift the hips up towards the sky, sending your cushion further down so the hips come down towards the mat, but the cushion arrives underneath your legs, underneath the backs of your knees here. So if you've got quite a flat cushion like I have, you may want to roll it up again here if you've got that kind of bolster shape. Again, just making sure it's around the back of your knees. You can kind of let the knees fall out towards the side slightly. Toes flop out towards the side. As I said, this is our final pose of today. So making sure you are the coziest you can be, the most comfortable you can be. Making any of those last minute final adjustments. And then again, just allow yourselves to just be. Very rarely do we get the time to just exist as we are. In the world we live in today, there's a lot of pressure to act a certain way, to do certain things, to be a certain way. And we can get kind of caught up and wrapped in that pressure. But through this restorative hibernation practice, we can allow ourselves to shed those layers of pressure, peel back those layers of expectation, so that when we arise from our slumber, we wake up from our hibernation. We can wake up as exactly who we are meant to be, who we are, with no kind of external influences, no pressures against us. We can just exist as we truly are. So again, 3 slow and steady final breaths. One more. And then from here, of course, you may like to stay here for a little bit longer. By all means, feel free to do so. But if you're ready, let's slowly again bring some movement back in. And just choose a side, be it the left or the right, and roll all the way over onto that one side. Taking your time, no need to rush. You can make a little pillow with the hands for the head to rest on. Slowly starting to rise up in stages, bringing your hands down towards the earth, pushing down through the palms, slowly lifting the heart, lifting the chest, and seeing if we can come back to seated, back to where we started. And again, you can come to sitting on top of your cushion should you wish, nestling your sit bones down and towards the ground, sitting up nice and tall. Let's see if we can soften those shoulders a little bit further away from our ears. Gentle but tall spine. Palms of the hands resting on the knees. And keeping the eyes closed as we seal our practice, as always, with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. May you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, we bring the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you're feeling a lot more chilled, a lot more relaxed, and yeah, feeling good. All right. Of course, as always, let me know how you got on. Feel free to leave me a little message in the comments, leave me a little like, maybe even subscribe. But I hope to see you next week on your mats with another free practice from me. See you then.